The 7-Minute Report with Jamaal Bethea, only on Clutch TV.
Heads up, eyes front. This is the 7-Minute Report with me, Jamaal Bethea, only on Clutch TV. Whether sports, whether insight, or whether culture, each segment is only 7 minutes. Man, let's go. Wednesday, June 18th, the ownership group of the Los Angeles Lakers, the Buss family, decided to finally sell the majority stake in the Lakers for $10 billion to Mark Walter and the Walter Group. $10 billion. That's definitely a reason to sell a team. Like, their family, it was something they kept in the family. Obviously, Jerry Buss and Jeannie Buss and Jim Buss. You know, I can imagine having pride in owning something like that, but I know it becomes a lot after a while. And I'm not always sure they made the best moves, especially over the last decade. So to me, business-wise, something like this probably needed to happen. It was probably time for the Buss family to, and you enjoy the success and the heights, but probably be relieved of the pressure, to be honest, of something like this. They can move on to something next. Or now for 10 billion reasons, they can just sit and do nothing. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. But the Mark Walter Group, first of all, Mark Walter owns the Los Angeles Dodgers. And since 2012, the Dodgers are first in wins. They're first in World Series titles. They're first in about 2 or 3 other categories. And it just shows how strong of a job that Mark Walter and his organization has done owning that team. So when you're talking about them owning the majority stake in the Lakers, you're really looking at going from a family structure back to a real corporate structure in a lot of ways. I think that'll be better for the Lakers. I remember about a season or 2 ago, somewhere in that time, Jeannie Buss had made a comment basically saying that her top priority at this moment really was to keep LeBron happy. And while I don't necessarily, disagree with that or think it's, terrible to say, it's a very family kind of comment. And while that's great, the truth of the matter is, at this point, I think the Lakers need something more corporate, something more structural. I think LeBron James at this point has had so much control over the organization, Cleveland and now LA. I think that also sometimes may cloud decisions. A lot of people certainly blame LeBron for the Russ trade. I thought that trade would work when it first happened. And then as I started watching them play, I was like, this is not going to work. You know what I mean? It's very simple. LeBron and Russ are the same player. One's tall, one's short. Well, not short. In real life, Russ is 6'3". He's very tall. But in NBA terms, Russ is short, LeBron's tall. Neither one of them great outside shooters. LeBron has gotten better over the years. Russ seemingly has gotten worse. But they're largely downhill guys. And, they need people who can shoot around them so they can kick out. If they have the ball in their hands a lot, the things they can do with a basketball, it's amazing. You know what I mean? But when you talk about putting them next to each other, you're now talking about sharing possessions. It really is LeBron and Dwayne Wade all over again. And I think outside of Kyrie Irving, a lot of the backcourt mates that LeBron has had really haven't been his best match. Like, Kyrie was a really good match for LeBron because he can hit every shot at an efficient clip. So it's easy to have confidence and trust. And not even just confidence and trust, because I'm sure LeBron trusted Dwayne Wade and, I'm sure LeBron trusted Russ. But at the end of the day, when you're driving and you're looking who to kick to and you see Kyrie, you have a little more confidence. Hey, here, you got that. You know what I'm saying? And then just take the criticism of, oh, you always need help, or he was more important than you. You take that criticism once you get the win. You know what I'm saying? But I remember that trade in particular, the Russ trade. I remember what they lost to really make that happen. And I think the problem with that trade was what they lost. You know what I mean? And it took a lot from the team. And it wasn't even Russ's fault. Russ gets a lot of blame for that. But just some of these kinds of trades where, or like outside of like Dennis Schroeder, who decided not to sign for $60 million because he thought he was worth 100, ended up with a contract maybe less than 15 million. Outside of him, losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I knew would bite the Lakers. You're giving away one of the better 3-and-D guys in the league, as it turns out. And now that he left Denver this year to go to Orlando, you saw exactly the same problem. That gaping hole of a defender and a guy, he might take 9 shots tonight. 6 of them might be threes. He going to hit 4 of them. maybe drive to the basket, get a surprise dunk, hit a foul shot or not, and he surprises you with 15, 16 points in that game. That's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I knew that would hurt the Lakers. I knew it would hurt Denver. I didn't like that they lost him in that deal with Russ. And I give credit for what the Lakers got back. Once they got from under Russ, got Hachimura. Who else did they get around that time? They got a couple of people, and it was great in that trade that they did that. But times like that, you just kind of wonder, like, who's really calling the shots and pulling the strings for some of these deals? And I think they're very family-esque to me kind of deals. Now you're looking at a serious corporate structure coming into play when it comes to the Lakers. And I think that's great for them going forward, especially now that they have Luka. Like, they're going to make so much money. They're going to make some really, really smart decisions. And one thing about Mark Walter and the Walter Group, they're not afraid to move away from superstars. I know in baseball, they weren't worried about Manny Machado going to the Padres, even though he's clearly, in their division. They weren't worried about moving off of Cody Bellinger, like letting him go. I mean, you're talking about a guy, a World Series MVP. They were willing to walk away. So sometime now, obviously at the end of the road with LeBron, I really wonder how this is going to look, because you have a team who, while they are going to look out, I'm talking about the organization, the Mark Walter Group. While you have a team who are going to look out, they're going to take care of their players. They're not stuck to anybody. We must conduct business. If you're not best for business, you must go. Now, LeBron has a no trade clause, but he's also in season 23. I don't know how much of a problem this will pose, but I wonder the amount of control LeBron's used to having, and maybe not even just control, but just the ability to say something. You're not going to be able to say much to this group, because at the end of the day, this group runs business better than a lot of companies run business. So this actually is a really good thing for the Lakers. They'll probably be able to get more money, more funding, with some different things they've been trying to do. But I think it's a good thing. I honestly think it's a good thing if you're a Laker fan. I really do.